Good evening and welcome once again to University of St. Francis Fighting Saints basketball. We're live in Joliet, Illinois, as down on Pat Quigley Court here in the Pat Sullivan Center on the campus of the University of St. Francis, the Fighting Saints get their final words of wisdom from head coach John McGinty as we get set to commence today's activity. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for St. Francis and Indiana Northwest, a big early season showdown between two of the top teams in the CCAC so far this year. Indiana Northwest comes in at 6-1 overall, a perfect 3-0 in conference. The Fighting Saints are 7-1, and likewise perfect in conference. They are 4-0 so far against CCAC opposition. It's Jordan Pyle at midcourt against Tiara Jackson on the opening tip of today's game. And the tip is won by the Fighting Saints. Justine Charlesworth takes first possession for the Fighting Saints, who wear white today and go from right to left during the first half. Jordan Pyle gives it away. Carly Miller comes up with an interception, and St. Francis turns it over for the first time. Jackson inside, lays it in. This is, I believe, the first time in a home game this year that the Saints haven't scored in their opening possession. Jordan Pyle drives and kicks out to Hannah Swiatek in the corner. Around Carly Miller, all the way to the basket. Swiatek lays it in. That ties us at 2 early on. Just underway, 40 seconds in. It was a rare deficit for St. Francis. I believe there had only been about 30 seconds of total game time coming into tonight in home action for St. Francis this year in which they had trailed. They were down 2-0. Now they're down 5-2 as Sarah Martin knocks down a three. The senior out of Kankakee Valley High School is the first player to hit a three-pointer in this game. Nobody's missed a shot yet. Jordan Pyle tries to keep that trend going, but she misses short on the turnaround from inside the paint. And we're going the other way. The Redhawks look to extend a narrow early lead. This is Michaela Best, bouncing it off to Michaela Schmidt, the team's leading scorer. Back into the hands of Best. She fires a three-pointer way off and out of bounds. So each team has now missed a shot, and St. Francis will inbound it, trailing 5-2, a minute and a half into today's game. These two teams matched up twice last year, with each team winning one. St. Francis lost an early season matchup with Indiana Northwest, a big upset at the time. A surprising result out in Indiana. Georgia Bolton's pass is intercepted, intended for Jordan Pyle. Michaela Schmidt takes it away. Saints out of sync offensively to start today's game. They've scored on just one of their first 4 possessions. Sarah Martin picks up her dribble and gives it off to Michaela Best. Back to Martin, lobs it down low for Jackson. Layup, it's good. Tiara Jackson's got an early 4 for Jesse Ford's Indiana Northwest team. Very strong start for the Redhawks. They lead it 7-2. That loss to Indiana Northwest early last season really was a big part of the reason that the Saints ended up finishing second in the CCAs instead of winning the conference as Jordan Pyle throws it away. So you know they're looking to right that wrong today, but not off to a good start. Jackson spins around Braxton Mickens, but in doing so, she's called for the travel. First substitution of the game for the Fighting Saints. It's Alina Yankee checking in for Jordan Pyle. Yankee, a big off-season addition for the Fighting Saints, transferred in from Trinity International. And this is the type of game she was brought in for. Indiana Northwest has a lot of size as Hannah Swiatek cuts to the lane and lays it in. She's got the first 4 for the Fighting Saints. Back to within a possession here. This is an Indiana Northwest team with a lot of size. Tiara Jackson and Michaela Schmidt, most notably. And so the Saints are going to have to lean on some of their bigs today as the shot misses from Miller. Offensive rebound. Second chance is no good from Michaela Schmidt. The Redhawks' leading scorer gets her first field goal attempt of the game. It does not go her way. Georgia Bolton feigns the 3, takes it inside, picks up her dribble and gives it back to Justine Charlesworth. St. Francis is the leading three-point shooting team in the country. They have not attempted one yet today as Braxton Mickens misses on the runner inside. First field goal attempt for Mickens, who is St. Francis's leading scorer this year. Only Hannah Switek has scored so far for the Fighting Saints. Three-pointer for Martin on the money. That's 2 in a row for Sarah Martin. She's got 6, and her team leads by 6. Fast start for the Redhawks. Slow start for the Saints. Out of sync offensively so far. Here's Braxton Mickens. One bounce. She gives it up to Yankee. Yankee takes it inside. Net by Jackson. Fade away off the glass. No good. Here come the Redhawks, led by Carly Miller, who's fouled from behind by Hannah Switek, looking for the steal. It's our first foul of the game. It comes 4 minutes and 5 seconds after the opening tip. And it leads to some substitutions for both sides. Jordan Pyle is in for Braxton Mickens. Michaela Best checks out for the Redhawks. And Kayla Surjord is in for the first time. Miller passes to Surjord, who tries the quick three and drains it. Timeout called by John McGinty. This is by far the biggest deficit that St. Francis has faced, either in a home game or a conference game this year. They really haven't been challenged like this all season, except for their lone loss of the year, which came against Marion back on November 4th. A blowout defeat in that one. Aside from that one game and one close victory, they've all been blowouts in St. Francis's favor. St. Francis, as I mentioned before, came into today 4th in the country in three-point percentage, but 1st in the country in terms of made three-pointers. Those 3 teams that are ahead of them in percentage have nowhere near the number of attempts that the Saints have, so it's probably fair to call them the best three-point shooting team in the country so far this year, whereas for Indiana Northwest, that is probably the biggest Achilles heel. Their outside shooting. They have really struggled from beyond the arc. So far today, the Redhawks have made 3 three-pointers. The Saints don't have any. Here's Justine Charlesworth on the outside, coming out of the timeout. Into Alina Yankee, who shovels it out to Georgia Bolton. Her three-pointer is no good. So there's the first attempt from the outside today for the Saints. It does not go their way. 13-4, the Redhawks can make their lead double digits on this possession. Michaela Schmidt puts it on the floor, takes it all the way in and rolls in and off the backboard. Nice drive by Michaela Schmidt, averaging 13 points per game. Those are her first today. Georgia Bolton holds on the wing. Does not use the screen, takes it inside, kicks out to Charlesworth. Her three-pointer is good. A big one for St. Francis. We'll see if that gets them rolling. Charlesworth is a 43% three-point shooter. The highest volume shooter on the team, second best percentage for St. Francis this year. Surjord is trapped in the corner, tries to get rid of it, and does, but right to Georgia Bolton. Launched ahead for Jordan Pyle. Pyle slows it down, takes it inside, scores, and gets herself to the line. A controlled break from St. Francis. Good pass from Georgia Bolton, and Jordan Pyle orchestrated it beautifully inside. Took her time, let the defense blow past her. Got her first bucket of the game, and now to the free throw line thanks to the foul called against Carly Miller. A very quick 5 points in a row for the Fighting Saints. They'll try to make it 6 in a row, though Jordan Pyle has had lots of problems from the free throw line this year. She's just 48%. Mia Kennelly is in for St. Francis for the first time today as Pyle sinks the free throw. A three-point play. Back-to-back three-point plays for the Fighting Saints, and very quickly their 11-point deficit is down to 5. Braxton Mickens knocks away the inbounds pass, but Surjord's able to pull it in anyway, and Carly Miller breaks across half court into Jackson, who took a hop. That little bunny hop is good for a travel and a turnover for Indiana Northwest. So momentum has shifted the Saints' way after a rough start. Hannah Switek sets up the offense for the home team. Braxton Mickens up top to Mia Kennelly. This is Pyle on the left wing. She takes it in with the left hand, throws outside. Justine Charlesworth, open three, a little bit short. Miller comes down with a loose ball. Just about 6 minutes in. We're starting to settle into a good game here. 3 in the key called against Indiana Northwest. I believe that was on Tiana Jackson. So that's the 3rd time she's turned it over now. Twice on traveling, and this time without the ball. She's called for the 3 seconds. Jordan Pyle takes over the ball handling duties as she passes off to Alina Yonke, spinning into the paint. Yonke is blocked by Jackson. There's Braxton Mickens with the follow. Perfectly played by Braxton Mickens. The ball was poked loose. She tracked down the loose ball and laid it in all in one motion. Her first 2 points of the game. Mickens has been sensational offensively to start this season as Best misses on the three-pointer. It's rebounded by Charlesworth. Saints want to run here. It's Mickens. Open three in transition, cannot connect. And a battle for the rebound leads to a tie-up. And the possession arrow faces Indiana Northwest. 3-point game after the Braxton Mickens layup. Fighting Saints have gone on an 8-0 run here after they took an early double-digit deficit. Michaela Best walks it across half court. Best passes out of the trap and finds Sir George. Braxton Mickens rips it away and travels. It was a nice steal initially for Mickens, but she lost her footing as she was pulling the ball away. Her momentum carried her down. Kind of an unavoidable turnover. The only way you can avoid that call, I guess, is if you can make the claim you never had possession until you hit the ground, but that was not the case right there. So the Saints take it away and give it right back. Here's Sir George looking to her right. There's nobody there, so she has to pass back to Caitlin Halfacre on the left side. And Sir George is fouled by Braxton Mickens. Caitlin Halfacre, the sophomore from Michigan City, Indiana, wearing number 5 for Indiana Northwest, just in at the last whistle, her first appearance today. She gets the inbounds pass. She'll set up the offense here. There's Jordan Pyle taking it away. Sir George was trying to get it into Jackson unsuccessfully. Mickens back to Pyle, who lays it in. Good two-man game there. Pyle to Mickens, who gave it right back for the layup. 5 points for Jordan Pyle. There's a trip against Hannah Switek and a foul called on St. Francis as Michaela Schmidt hits the deck. First foul on Switek. Sarah Martin is back in. Sir George to the bench for Indiana Northwest. Alina Yonke comes in late for Hannah Switek. It's actually Switek's second foul, which is why she's coming out here. Inbounded to Schmidt. Passed outside, Michaela Best. Best lobs it down low. This is Jackson in the post, backing down on Bolton. Good size mismatch there. She sends it out to a guard, though, and Best misfires on the three-pointer. Pyle with a nice little head fake, gets inside and lays it up for Alina Yonke, overthrew her out of bounds. Not a bad thought right there from Jordan Pyle, but also not a good pass. So it's a turnover for St. Francis. They had a chance to take the lead on that possession. 15-14 the score as the Saints go to their bench. Pellegrini checks in for Mickens. First time today that the freshman Talia Pellegrini has been on the floor. It's been a long time since Indiana Northwest has scored. I'll try to rectify that here. Best working outside on Pyle. Passes to Halfacre, back up top to Best, into the right corner. This is Schmidt. Around a couple of screens, Schmidt makes her way to the free throw line, picks up the dribble, and finds Martin, who fires a three. It's short. Pellegrini gave her a little bit of space there. Martin had already hit 2 3-pointers. But this time, she misses it and keeps this at a 1-point game. Yonke for the lead, lays it in. It's a 12-0 run for St. Francis, who trailed 15-4. They've got the lead back for the first time since the opening seconds. In fact, for the first time all game. Foul called on Yonke. Going up, we'll have 2 free throws here for Michaela Schmidt. Michaela Schmidt, the top returning player for Indiana Northwest. She is a 2-time All-CCAC player. Has been a starter since day one with Indiana Northwest, and she has been a big part of this program taking off as she makes the first free throw. That snaps a long scoreless drought for Indiana Northwest. Finally back on the board, snapping a 12-0 St. Francis run. And she gets them both. Indiana Northwest is back in the lead. Final minute and change here in the first quarter. It's been an entertaining first period. The offense has picked up here as Kennelly's pass is deflected right back into her hands. Jordan Pyle along the baseline, throws it away. Picked off by Halfacre. Given ahead to Michaela Best, who misses on the layup. Saints pushing it now, trying to catch Indiana Northwest defense napping, but Pellegrini mishandles the dribble. Diving on the floor, Kennelly is on top of it. Martin reaches her hand in and forces the jump ball. It'll stay with St. Francis, 21 on the shot clock. Trailing by a single point. Braxton Mickens comes back in for Kennelly. Miller back on the floor for Indiana Northwest, along with Alina Santiago. Braxton Mickens handles the dribble. Passed up top to Georgia Bolton. Right side, this is Charlesworth, right back to Bolton. Bounced into the post. Jordan Pyle double teamed and gives it back outside. Charlesworth with 4 to shoot. This is Kennelly. Mickens has to force one up. Three-pointer at the buzzer is no good, and it missed the rim. That'll be a shot clock violation and a St. Francis turnover. A few more of those in this first quarter than I think John McGinty would prefer to see. 3-second shot clock and game clock difference here. Jumper misses short from Samantha Martin. And the rebound goes to the Fighting Saints. Saints have shot 47% from the field in this first quarter, 5 turnovers. They'll get the final shot of the quarter here and try to take a lead into the first break. Braxton Mickens has 4 seconds. Around a screen, crosses to the right. Little floater is good. Braxton Mickens ends the first quarter with the Saints in front. Mickens, averaging nearly 14 points per game this season, has 4 so far tonight as she puts the Saints in front, 18-17. Our score. For the first time this year, St. Francis has been challenged in a conference game. And so far, it's been fun to see, but they've been able to withstand the early run from Indiana Northwest. After trailing by double digits early on, the Saints closed the quarter on a 14-2 run. This is a team that beat Roosevelt in their last game, it was 8 days ago, by a 29-point margin. That, so far this year, is the closest margin of victory for St. Francis in a conference game this year. They beat Trinity Christian by 46. They beat Trinity International by 60. And they beat Calumet College of St. Joseph by 89. That's been the Fighting Saints' march through the CCAC so far this year. So to get a punch in the mouth early in today's game is certainly something a little bit different to see, and it's good to see that they were able to respond nicely to it by taking that 18-17 advantage thanks to the Braxton Mickens shot as the clock expired at the end of the first. So 10 minutes down, 30 to go, and this one is up for grabs early on. Indiana Northwest won 19 games a year ago, including one against St. Francis, taking a big step in the right direction. And so far this year, they've been even better. 6-1. Their only loss, though, was a blowout. They fell to Dakota State University by 33 points a couple of weeks ago. It's a good Dakota State team, but not as good early on as St. Francis has been. So just the fact that they can be beaten like that has to give the Fighting Saints the feeling that they should beat them in a similar manner. 5 different Saints on the scoreboard so far today, led by Jordan Pyle's 5 points. 6 for Sarah Martin on a couple of three-pointers lead all scorers right now. Sarah Martin now has 8 on a little leaner along the baseline to get the scoring started in this second quarter. 19-18. Leads going back and forth here. 4th time we've had a lead change already as Jordan Pyle dribbles in with the left hand. Backing down Schmidt. She passes it out to Yankee. The free throw line jumper is good for Alina Yankee. She's off to a good start today. 4 rebounds already, and now she's got her second bucket as well. 5th time we've had a lead change. Alina Santiago fires across court to Carly Miller. Lobbed into the post for Jackson. Handoff to Miller going by. Kicked outside. Michaela Schmidt thought about the three. Decided against it. 6 on the shot clock for Santiago, who misses the layup. Rebound saved by Charlesworth to Jackson. Jumper from the foul line misses for Sarah Martin. Rebound is loose and picked up by Santiago. Third chance of the possession for Indiana Northwest. Lob down low. This is Jackson working against Yankee. Tiana Jackson turnaround, blocked by Alina Yankee. 4 points, 4 rebounds, and now a block for the senior from Germany. And Saints take possession. Georgia Bolton fires a three and hits it. At 4 points, this is the biggest lead of the game for St. Francis. They have scored 5 of the first 7 points this quarter. Their run is now 19-4 since that slow start. Santiago for 3. Good response for Indiana Northwest. Georgia Bolton gave her some room. Santiago initially hesitant to shoot, realized when Bolton wasn't going to close in, she had a good opportunity, and she takes advantage of it. Yankee crosses over on Jackson, spins into the paint, banks it up and misses. Rebound to Jackson. Leading the conference in rebounding this year, better than 12 per game for Tiara Jackson. Jumper from up top, misses for Martin. Sarah Martin has cooled off after a hot shooting start. 1 point lead for the Fighting Saints. Bolton fires to Pyle in the corner. Jordan Pyle is off the mark on the 3-point attempt. Sarah Martin grabs the rebound, and Indiana Northwest looks to run. Good transition defense from the Fighting Saints. No chance at a breakaway for Indiana Northwest. They set up the half-court game. 20 on the shot clock for Carly Miller, who passes outside to Sarah Martin. Martin out to Santiago on the right wing. Down to the corner. This is Michaela Schmidt working against Jordan Pyle around the screen. Schmidt lobs inside to the cutting Miller, and Carly Miller is fouled. This will be a shooting foul for Miller. First foul of the quarter on St. Francis, who goes to their bench. Mia Kennelly is in, as is Josie Graffio. Call's been changed. No shot on the foul, so it'll be an inbounds play from the baseline. First appearance today of Josie Graffio, who started Saints' last contest against Roosevelt, played big minutes, her biggest of the season. Santiago made a three a moment ago. This time she takes a step inside and sends it to Miller. Long 2-point attempt is good for Carly Miller. Miller is a 7-point per game scorer. Those are her first 2 this evening. Indiana Northwest is back in front. It's a 1-point game. Georgia Bolton bounces to Mia Kennelly. Kennelly's layup is no good. Rebound Yankee, back up. She missed it, but she's fouled. Two free throws coming up for Alina Yankee. Yankee is just 10 of 17 from the line so far this year. 59%. And she misses the first one here. Trying for 50% on this trip. She missed them both. Still a 1-point game in Indiana Northwest favor. Actually, the scoreboard is 25-23. So one of us is wrong. Here's a drive from Santiago. Kicked outside. This is Martin. Over to Miller. Miller from the free throw line picks up her dribble. Pass is loose, but picked up by Michaela Schmidt. Melly tried to reach in and take it away. Kept by the Redhawks, though, and Sarah Martin is freed up for a jumper. She knocks it down. She's in double figures already. 10 points for Sarah Martin. Pellegrini nearly lost her footing. Into the corner. This is Josie Graffio. Stripped from Graffio and taken away. It's a turnover. Indiana Northwest trying to turn it into points on the other end. Alina Santiago loses the ball, steps out of bounds. Just got in a little bit too deep there, had nowhere to go. And she gives it back away. Starters back on the floor for St. Francis. Mickens, Pyle, Swiatek, all re-enter. Timeout called by Indiana Northwest. 5.5 minutes to play in the first half, 27-23. Indiana Northwest has the lead. We've had a good back and forth going so far in this game. St. Francis down big early. They came flying back with a great run to end the first quarter and then to start the second quarter as well. Since then, things have leveled off a little bit. And Indiana Northwest has taken control of things a little bit again. I've seen the confusion on the scoreboard. I just couldn't get past my own head. I thought that Indiana Northwest had a 3-point lead. They apparently gave Carly Miller credit for a 3-pointer a couple of shots ago, which certainly was not the case. She was inside the line. So I don't know if that's one that'll be corrected later or if St. Francis will play from a 1-point disadvantage. Graffio hands it off to Jordan Pyle, kicks it out to Graffio. Graffio's shot blocked. Good defense from Samantha Martin. Pass over to the right side. This is Michaela Best. Back up top and around to the left. This is Carly Miller up top. This time it is a 3-pointer and it's good. So Indiana Northwest has gone on a run here. After trailing St. Francis 23-19, they've scored 11 in a row. Both teams have gone on double-digit runs at different times during this game. Hannah Switek backs in on Santiago, kicks it out to Justine Charlesworth. Charlesworth works her way to the free throw line, backing inside. Charlesworth forces it up with the right hand and is blocked by Carly Miller. We've got a foul on St. Francis. Fighting Saints had some good offensive rhythm during that run they had earlier, but it has really gone away lately, and that time Justine Charlesworth gave it up, doing something that she very rarely does, which is take it inside herself. More than 80% of her field goal attempts this year have been from three-point range. Michaela Best trapped, passed off to Miller. Inside it's Samantha Martin, whose pass is tipped and stolen by Jordan Pyle. Switek in a hurry, crosses to the right, passes out to Mickens. Braxton Mickens takes it down the lane, kicks it out to Charlesworth. There's her bread and butter, but she misses the three-pointer this time. Offensive rebound, put back good from Jordan Pyle. 7 points for Pyle. Saints are back within 5. Best bounces it off to the right side. Along the baseline, her pass is intercepted. That's Santiago's pass. That was intercepted. Braxton Mickens takes it the other way. Out to Charlesworth, three-pointer. Off the mark once again. Rebound tipped into the hands of Michaela Schmidt. Indiana Northwest has turned it over on back-to-back possessions as St. Francis has intercepted passes. We'll see if they can do it again. Michaela Best passes off to Santiago on the right side. Half the shot clock used up already. Santiago carries it up top. Guarded by Jordan Pyle. To the right side, Michaela Best. Back to the top of the key. 5 to shoot for Michaela Schmidt. Santiago, 3 seconds on the clock. Over to Miller. Has to throw one up and hits. A three-pointer for Carly Miller as the shot clock expires. A big shot there for the junior guard. Lead is back to 8 for Indiana Northwest. Their largest has been 11. Jordan Pyle answers with a three-pointer of her own. The reigning CCAC Player of the Year is the first Fighting Saint into double figures tonight. Her 10 points have helped to make this just a 5-point game. Schmidt outside to Miller. Down low, Santiago kicks it back out to Michaela Best. She misses short on the three-pointer. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Samantha Martin. Momentum is a fickle thing, trading hands back and forth here in the first half, and the Saints seem to have taken it once again for their side. We'll see if they can keep it as this possession begins with the ball in the hands of Hannah Switek. Jordan Pyle works her way inside, backing in on Schmidt, tries to get under Schmidt and throws it up and in. Pyle is red hot, 7 points in a row for the Fighting Saints. She's got 12. And the score is 33-30 with just over 2 minutes to play in the quarter. Pyle gets another steal. Second time that she's picked one off in the last couple of minutes. Lobbed ahead for Georgia Bolton, who misses on the runner off the glass, and a loose ball foul called on St. Francis. Missed opportunity for the Fighting Saints. Off the Pyle steal, Bolton is unable to convert. Lena Yankee back in for Josie Graffio. Under 2 minutes to play in the half. Indiana Northwest has led the majority of the way, but the Saints have forced them on their heels a few times. Here's Emma Schmidt, just into the game for the first time. Schmidt trapped, throws it up, and finds Michaela Best. Back over to Schmidt. Down low, Martin, good pass to Jackson. Tiara Jackson is fouled, and she'll go to the line for 2 shots. Jackson is just a 33% foul shooter this season. She'll look to improve on that right here. She can make it a 2-score game by making either of the two, and her first looked perfect. A stroke that belies that percentage. Looks very comfortable at the line, although she misses the second. And another rebound for Alina Yankee. Swiatek passes out to Pyle, 3-pointer, a little bit long. Rebound tipped in the hands of Emma Schmidt. Schmidt sets it up for Indiana Northwest. A drive from Best, lobs it inside underneath the basket, taken away from Tiara Jackson. Best threw it into traffic. Here comes Swiatek the other way. Swiatek's runner misses, rebound to Jackson. And Indiana Northwest will take possession with a minute to play. Best out to Schmidt. Working her way in from the right side. Saints had it sealed up, passed back to the top of the key, and Emma Schmidt. Best crosses back to the top, fires a 3-pointer in the face of Georgia Bolton, no good. Long rebound goes out to Hannah Swiatek. Saints will run the clock down a little bit here, so this will probably be their last possession of the first half. Trying to get the score back to within 2 or maybe even 1. They led by a point at the end of the first quarter. One dribble, Jordan Pyle's jumper is good from 2-point range. And now the Saints will look for a stop to keep this a 1-score game at the break. Best across half court, fires off to Emma Schmidt. Schmidt works her way between 2 defenders and passes back out to Michaela Best. 10 seconds, Jackson gets an open look and lays it in. 6 seconds on the clock, the Saints are taking their time here. Hannah Swiatek up to about half court, throws it up from long range and misses the desperation shot at the buzzer. Indiana Northwest scores on their final possession of the half, and they extend their lead to 4 points. It's 36-32 after an exciting back and forth first half. 20 more minutes of basketball still to come your way. We'll get those to you about 15 minutes from now. I'll step aside, back with first half stats and a second half preview about 15 minutes from now. It's 36-32, Indiana Northwest over St. Francis at halftime. It's halftime, but not for long. We're just about set to start half number 2. Terry Bonadonna with you once again on the USF Sports Network, where the Fighting Saints trail Indiana University Northwest 36-32. A very rare halftime deficit for St. Francis. The lead went back and forth in the first half. 5 lead changes. We had 2 ties. Saints' biggest lead was only 4. Indiana Northwest has led by as many as 11. Leading scorer so far today is Jordan Pyle, 14 points on 6 of 9 shooting. She's also got a pair of rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals in the ball game today. The leader for Indiana Northwest is Sarah Martin, 10 points on 4 of 7 from the field. Carly Miller has 9 points, all of them on 3-pointers. Indiana Northwest came into play today shooting just 29% on 3-pointers for the season. They are 7 of 13 from 3-point range today. St. Francis, on the other hand, one of the best, if not the best, 3-point shooting teams in the entire country. Just 3 of 12 from beyond the arc. That's certainly been a storyline so far today. Indiana Northwest, where did they feel like they had the biggest advantage coming in? Probably rebounding. They are one of the best rebounding teams in the country. They are +3 in that category, 18-15 over St. Francis. So far today, the turnover battle has been won by the Saints. 6 turnovers compared to 10 for Indiana Northwest. The Saints have outscored the Redhawks off of turnovers, 11-4. 36-32 is our score. Actually, they just changed the scoreboard to 35-32. Remember, there was the play earlier in the game. They gave Carly Miller credit for a 3-pointer. It very clearly was not. She was probably over a foot inside the 3-point line. So that might have been something they reviewed at halftime and changed. That's what I'm going to assume. They've changed that, so give Carly Miller 8 points instead of 9. Indiana Northwest has a 3-point lead as we start half number 2. Georgia Bolton takes it for the Fighting Saints and kicks it out to Braxton Mickens. Back to Bolton, who penetrates and kicks into the corner. Hannah Switek's 3-pointer is off. Rebounded by Tiara Jackson. Michaela Best passes to Miller. Over to Sarah Martin on the left side. This is Michaela Schmidt, very quiet so far today, just 4 points. Sarah Martin has not been quiet, although she misses on this 3-pointer. Both teams come up empty on their first possession of the second half. Corner 3, Georgia Bolton, no good. The Saints are now 3 of 14 from beyond the arc. Here comes Michaela Best. Best passes to Martin on the right side of the floor. Working against Justine Charlesworth. Here's Miller for 3. That's short. So Miller originally had been 3 of 3 from 3-point range in the first half. They changed one of her 3s to a 2. So she was 2 of 2 as Hannah Switek misses on the layup. Still, Carly Miller had only attempted 1 3-pointer all season coming into today, and she missed it. Today she's taken 3. She's got 8 points. Nobody's scored yet in the second half. We're about a minute and a half into it. Sarah Martin. Martin picks up her dribble. Off to Miller with the shot clock at 6. Miller in some trouble. Scoops it up and misses. Doesn't get the rim. Rebound is tipped out of bounds by Hannah Switek, but again, she did not get the rim. So the shot clock is at 1. Miller tried to go under Hannah Switek. Flipped it up there underhand, and she got the bottom of the net. She did not apparently get the bottom of the rim. The refs are talking about it, and they've agreed she didn't touch the rim. So 1 on the shot clock for Indiana Northwest as they inbound here. Lobbed in for Samantha Martin, blocked by Jordan Pyle, and that's a shot clock violation. Nice defense from Pyle, her first block of the game. Typical Jordan Pyle game. You will very rarely see a 0 under any stat on the box score when Jordan Pyle plays, and she's a very aggressive player, meaning she turns it over a lot too, and that's on the stat sheet. She's got 4 of them. She spins inside, up with the left hand, doesn't get the roll. But she's now got 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. Schmidt out to Martin. This is Samantha Martin passing back outside. Sarah Martin, right wing. Stripped and picked up by Hannah Switek. Switek takes it inside, stripped away from her. The ball is loose on the floor, and Indiana Northwest comes away with it. Samantha Martin lobs it down ahead to Sarah Martin, and Martin is fouled going up. Samantha Martin and Sarah Martin one would assume, have been playing together for a long time. Good chemistry right there as Samantha was able to look up and find Sarah streaking down the floor. Gets her to the line for 2 shots. Two minutes, 27 seconds have gone by in the third quarter. And this Sarah Martin free throw misses, so we are still scoreless since halftime. In fact, the score has actually decreased since halftime. It was 36-32 at halftime. Now it's 35-32. This was a good offensive first half, and it's turned around in that regard completely. Timeout called by the Fighting Saints. It's a full timeout called for by John McGinty, the second-year head coach of the Fighting Saints. Both of these coaches today are in their second year with their respective team. McGinty with St. Francis and Jesse Ford with Indiana Northwest. Both men have done exceptional jobs with their teams, but in McGinty's case, he was carrying on the tradition that started about a decade ago now. Samantha Quigley-Smith had some great years before moving on to Lewis University. She's at Southern Illinois Edwardsville now. Steve Brook came in next. Had 4 great seasons with the Fighting Saints, and John McGinty, still with a lot of the players that Steve Brook brought in, has a conference championship under his belt, at least a conference tournament championship and a trip to the NAIA tournament, and now a great start to this season as the Fighting Saints have entered the top 25 for the first time. The new poll was revealed earlier today, and the Saints made their entrance at number 23. Indiana Northwest greatly improved over the last couple of years with Jesse Ford. 19 wins last year and off to an undefeated start over their first 3 games in conference play this year. 6-1 the overall record. Martin misses both free throws, determined to keep this game scoreless in the second half. Probably not really, but that's what she did anyway. Justine Charlesworth with a fake, gets around Sarah Martin, passes out to Mickens. Hannah Switek, top of the key, three-pointer misses. Rebound deflected towards the baseline and out of bounds. We're going the other way. Long drought here for both teams. St. Francis has now gone 3.5 minutes without scoring. Indiana Northwest about 3:15. Both teams scored on their last possession of the first half. There's a runner that goes for Michaela Schmidt off the backboard. So finally the scoreboard moves again. 37-32. Indiana Northwest has the lead on the first bucket of the second half. Jordan Pyle looking to answer. Comes up short. She leans away from the basket. Throws it up with the right hand. Schmidt thought about the three. Got Mickens in the air. Now she drives. Hard off the backboard and in. Back-to-back buckets for Michaela Schmidt, who had only 2 field goals all game. Actually only 1 field goal, 4 total points all game prior to that stretch. She has given her team a 7-point lead. Jordan Pyle up with the right hand. Again misses. Jordan Pyle red hot in the first half. Ice cold here in the second so far. Carly Miller, no look pass, and probably should have looked. She threw it away. Braxton Mickens picks up the loose ball and slows it down for St. Francis, but now she throws an interception. Carly Miller late to get back in on the play, anticipates the pass nicely and takes it away. St. Francis now 5 minutes without a point. Here's Sarah Martin passing out to Carly Miller. Miller, quick fake, passes back to Michaela Best. Down in the corner, Sarah Martin. Lobbed in for Samantha Martin. Good ball movement here. Michaela Schmidt with 5 on the shot clock. Lob down low for Sarah Martin. Turnaround up with the right hand and in off the backboard. Indiana Northwest using the glass, their good friend, very well here in the second half, and they have opened up a 9-point lead. The Fighting Saints call a timeout once again. 32nd timeout this time, but they are seeing things drip downhill. So far in this second half, they were 6, or make that 8 of 16 shooting in the first quarter. 50% from the field. On a hot start, they scored 18 points. Good number during the first quarter. Since then, they have really had some trouble putting the ball in the basket. After that 8 for 16 start, they are just 6 of 24. And they've missed their first 7 shots. of the second half. Josie Graffio will inbound it from half court. So we're back underway out of the timeout. Graffio and Alina Yankee are in, along with Mia Canelli. This is Yankee working against the point guard Best. Bounce to the cutting Graffio, sent into the corner, and she traveled. She wanted to make that pass, but didn't time it up quite right. Dropped her foot onto the floor, and so the turnover committed by Graffio gives it right back to Indiana Northwest. Saints' drought continues. They're 0 for 7 shooting, and now 3 turnovers in the second half as well. Emma Schmidt for 3. Got it. Indiana Northwest got off to a sluggish start to the second half as well, but they've turned it around. This is now their biggest lead of the game at 44-32. And they are on an 11-0 run. Alina Yankee working against 2 defenders. Ball poked away and a foul called on Tiara Jackson. That's the first foul on Jackson. And it's the first foul on the team. 4:47 to play in the third quarter. Hannah Switek, the inbounder. Switek was looking for Charlesworth. Charlesworth cut the other way. Halfacre comes away with it. Layup on the other end misses. Battle for the rebound won by Jackson, who's fouled. Another turnover for St. Francis, already their 4th of the second half, and Jackson back to the line where she is 1 of 2 so far today. 7 of 20 from the line this year. She misses the first. Tiara Jackson has 7 points today. Team leading 5 rebounds, averaging better than 12 rebounds per game. She goes 1 of 2. Yankee receives the pass from Pyle. Nice pass to the cutting Charlesworth. Cut off nicely by Martin. Georgia Bolton fires a 3 and misses. Rebound Best. Here's Michaela Best on the run. Slows it down. Good transition defense again from the Saints. Sarah Martin bounces once. Lobs inside to Jackson. Stripped by Switek. And Jordan Pyle takes it away. Pyle's pass is deflected by Emma Schmidt. And we're going the other way. So Emma Schmidt took the pass away. Pyle was trying to get it to Switek. Schmidt knocked it loose. Switek tried to get it back, and in the process, Schmidt fell out of bounds. No foul called. There was a lot of contact going both ways. Braxton Mickens blocked by Jackson, and Emma Schmidt comes down with it. Saints would love to get Mickens going. She's having an uncharacteristically quiet offensive game. They'd love to get anybody going at this point. Now 7 minutes since their last points. Martin, pull-up jumper, doesn't get the roll. Rebound Yankee. Indiana Northwest has not exactly been setting the world ablaze during this long drought for St. Francis as Mickens' three-pointer hits the side of the backboard. Foul called on Charlesworth. The Redhawks started very slow coming out of halftime. They've turned things up a little bit, but during a 7+ minute scoreless stretch for St. Francis, I'm sure Indiana Northwest would love to have built up their lead a little bit bigger than they have. Still a 13-point advantage for Indiana Northwest. They are sitting pretty right now with about 13.5 minutes to play in the game as timeout is called by the Fighting Saints. The second half has not gone the way that I think the home fans would have anticipated. Fighting Saints coming into play today had not only gone undefeated in conference play, they had been completely unstoppable in conference play, winning every game by 29 points or more. Average margin of victory of better than 50. That's not going to happen today. If they win this, it'll have to be in a come-from-behind effort. and one would imagine by a narrow margin. St. Francis came into play today averaging to make better than 11 three-pointers per game, shooting them at 39%. Today they are 3 of 17 from beyond the arc, and that is probably, I would say, reason number one for the big deficit right now. They're now 0 for 9 shooting in the second half with 4 turnovers. Actually 0 for 10 now shooting in the second half. Indiana Northwest basketball, baseball pass down ahead to Caitlin Halfacre, and they're able to break the press with relative ease. Halfacre bounces once, passes to Sarah Martin. Martin around the Jackson screen, kicks it outside to Halfacre. Lobbed into the post. Jackson in good position against Hannah Switek, lays it in. Tiara Jackson in a double figures now. She matches Sarah Martin with a team leading 10 points. A 15-point lead for Indiana Northwest. Georgia Bolton's three is good. The Saints desperately needed that one. 7 minutes and 40 seconds between buckets for St. Francis, but Bolton has her second three of the game. Michaela Best slices through the defense and lays it in. A quick response for Indiana Northwest. Bolton tries it again, same spot, not this time. Rebounded by Braxton Mickens, back up with contact, no foul, but she does convert the bucket. So the Saints have scored on back-to-back possessions now. See if they can get a big stop on defense. Halfacre steps into a three. A little bit too strong. Rebound off the hands of Martin and out of bounds. Caitlin Halfacre has not scored yet tonight. Halfacre was only averaging about 5 points per game until the most recent contest against Cardinal Stritch. She poured in a career-high 22, but has been quiet so far in this game. Saints can cut it to single digits with a three-pointer here. Switek steps back behind the line. Now starts to drive, kicks it out to Graffio, and Graffio hits the three. So it is a single-digit deficit now. St. Francis has scored 8 of the last 10 points, 3 straight possessions. They've put the ball in the basket. Carly Miller, hassled by Georgia Bolton, moves to her right, sends it inside. It's Emma Schmidt. Schmidt blocked from behind. Jackson gets it right back and scores. Nice work by Tiara Jackson on the offensive glass. So Indiana Northwest has weathered the storm, at least for now. Their lead is still 11, late in the third quarter. Pass is tipped, but Charlesworth pulls it in. Now 3 defenders around her. We've got a tie-up. We're going the other way. Saints turn it over. Good defense from the Redhawks. Jordan Pyle back in. 14 points in the first half for Pyle, but just 0 of 3 shooting so far in the second half. Miller breaks the one-man press. Here's Schmidt from the corner. Emma Schmidt's pass deflected by a couple of St. Francis players and out of bounds. Miller fires it in up top. Into the post, Jackson, surrounded by Saints. Out to Caitlin Halfacre. Michaela Schmidt, 3-ball is good. A lot of attention paid down low to Tiara Jackson, and the Saints left Michaela Schmidt all alone. Now Justine Charlesworth left all alone. She misses the three. Rebounded by Mia Canelli. Tough game so far for Charlesworth as that ball is kicked. Very good three-point shooter, just 1 of 5 from three-point range tonight. Final minute of play in the third quarter. Saints have trailed by as many as 17. It's a 14-point game right now. Indiana Northwest has scored the last 5 points. Not anymore. Hannah Switek cuts through the defense and lays it in from the left side. 6 points for Switek, but her first since the opening minute and a half. Miller off to the right. Emma Schmidt. Mia Canelli knocks it loose, but she fouls her in the process. The Redhawks can hold on for the last shot if they want to here. There's 1.3 seconds of difference between the shot and game clocks, but that's a marginal difference. Braxton Mickens back in for Kennelly. Emma Schmidt is the inbounder. Into Caitlin Halfacre. Carly Miller fires down low for Jackson, who has it clean in the paint and easily lays it in. The Saints over pursued on the pass. And an easy 2 points for Jackson after she made the catch. Here's Swiatek. 6 seconds. Up top, Charlesworth blocked by Carly Miller. Miller with 1 on the clock takes it all the way in and misses the layup. She had time and she got it off before the buzzer. What a sequence that would have been for Carly Miller if she got the block and the layup on the other end. It's the end of the third quarter, a dominant third quarter for the Redhawks of Indiana Northwest. They outscored St. Francis 19-10 in the period, and they turn a 3-point lead into this 14-point game that you see right now, 56-42. I did my math wrong. It's 21-10. The score in that third quarter, so even better for Indiana Northwest. They are in the driver's seat here with 10 minutes to play. The Saints are a high-pressure defense. They are pretty adept at forcing turnovers. They also, throughout the season, although not as much tonight, have been adept at limiting their own turnovers. And they've been adept prior to tonight at hitting three-pointers. And those three things combined would make them amenable to a comeback. But there's a lot to be decided here. Indiana Northwest has really played a good game. They've shot the ball well, and they have played excellent defense throughout today's game. After 3 quarters, St. Francis is at just 36% from the field, 23% on threes. Indiana Northwest is nearly at 50% in both categories, 49% overall. They're at 47 from three-point range. And both of those numbers are significantly above their season average. This team has gone 6-1 this year without shooting the ball well. Today they've done all the things they typically do, and they've added in that extra element of hitting their shots. Here's Jordan Pyle working inside. Pyle up with the right, lays it in. First points for Jordan Pyle since halftime. She's got 16 points now. Emma Schmitz along the baseline, passes out to Caitlin Halfacre. Here's Michaela Schmidt for 3. Well short that time. Rebound ricochets right into the hands of Braxton Mickens. Mickens working against Miller, fires it into the corner. Hannah Swiatek, a good look, rolls around and does not fall. Offensive rebound, Georgia Bolton. Here's Pyle working against Schmidt. Turnaround for Pyle is no good off the back iron, rebounded by Tiara Jackson. Saints have been out rebounded today 33-25. And that is an area that Indiana Northwest expected to do well, and they have. 12-point game with just under 9 minutes to play. Caitlin Halfacre off the mark on a 3. Nice box out by Jordan Pyle. She comes away with the rebound. Bolton tries another 3 and hits. Georgia Bolton from the outside, now 3 of 7. And she's got 9 points for the game. It is once again a 9-point game. Caitlin Halfacre throws over the double team, finds Michaela Schmidt, back out to Halfacre. Nice ball movement by Indiana Northwest. It's Carly Miller finding a wide open shooter. That's Halfacre, short on the 3. Offensive rebound, Jackson blocked by Swiatek. A held ball called. It'll stay with Indiana Northwest. Well, this is the fear for Indiana Northwest, that trends will reverse and revert back to the expected as far as the outside shooting goes. A huge part of the reason they're losing, or they're winning, I should say, they are shooting much above their season average from three-point range. Saints are shooting well below. The Saints have started to hit a few threes, while the Redhawks have missed a few open outside shots. They still lead by 9, though, with the ball, 8 minutes to go. Shot clock under 10. Jackson works against Pyle, loses the ball, and Pyle picks it up. Good defense from Jordan Pyle, who has another steal. That's 4 of them for the game. Jordan Pyle on offense, lays it in. Timeout called. With the score now 56-49, 7:46 to play. Jordan Pyle has 18 points. So she gets the steal, she gets the bucket, and again, she's filled that stat sheet. 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals for St. Francis' senior. And we saw a lot of this from Jordan Pyle last year. Inconsistent at times, but when the team needed somebody to put the ball in, she was the go-to player in those big moments. And that is the case down the stretch here today, as she has scored 4 in the last minute. Georgia Bolton hit a big 3 a few moments ago as well. Bolton has hit 2 big second half 3-pointers. Saints still well below their season average, but up to 6 3-pointers for the game now. They trail by 7, down by as many as 17. We saw 5 lead changes in the first half, but Indiana Northwest has not trailed here in the second. They're trying to add to their lead with the ball right now. Carly Miller carries it up top and fires it to the left. Michaela Schmidt back up top. Carly Miller. Miller working against Jordan Pyle. Handed off to Sarah Martin. Tiara Jackson is out of the game right now for Indiana Northwest. Schmidt up to Miller. 5 on the shot clock. Miller takes it right into Jordan Pyle, who's called for a foul. John McGinty is hot about that call. But Pyle is whistled for her first, and a good free throw shooter is headed to the line. Miller's first free throw is good. Indiana Northwest has not excelled from the free throw line today, but the Saints have barely even been there, so it's still advantage Redhawks. They're 6 of 10 now from the line. Miller's got 2 more points. She is the 4th Red Hawk in double figures. 58-49, Saints basketball with the deficit. Josie Graffio looking for that entrance pass, can't find it. Instead gives it to Kennelly, whose pass is intercepted. Miller against Switek, going the other way, and Hannah Switek fouls Carly Miller. So Miller's back to the line, 2 more shots. She just hit the last 2. And she hits this one as well. So the lead, which was as high as 17, cut to 7 by St. Francis, is now back up to 11, thanks to 4 straight free throws from Carly Miller. Final 7 minutes. It's Braxton Mickens. Mickens dribbles to the left, pulls it back out, and gives to Justine Charlesworth. Charlesworth off to Jordan Pyle. Pyle works her way into the paint. 4 defenders around her. She's fouled. Indiana Northwest was selling out on Jordan Pyle right there, and Pyle tried to pass out of the quadruple team, and she's hit across the arm. First foul on Indiana Northwest. It was called against Samantha Martin. Pass goes into Justine Charlesworth. Backing in, she kicks it outside, Georgia Bolton. Here comes Hannah Switek, off the glass, no, rebounded by Carly Miller. Miller playing well here in the 4th quarter. Passes to Sarah Martin. Martin got off to a great start. Has 10 points in the game. Michaela Schmidt lobs it to Samantha Martin, posting up on Hannah Switek. Nothing there for her. Back outside, it's Michaela Schmidt. Schmidt loses the ball out of bounds on the Saints. 9 seconds on the shot clock. .6:12 to play in the game. Big defensive possession for the Fighting Saints. They need stops and lots of them. Indiana Northwest has scored on 2 straight possessions, not this time. Another steal for Jordan Pyle. Pyle working against Caitlin Halfacre, shovels it off. There's Hannah Switek getting fouled, going to the rim. Just the third time tonight that the Saints have gotten themselves to the free throw line. Free throws have not been Hannah Switek's forte over the last 4 years. She's got 2 big ones right here. First shot is perfect. I think from a mental standpoint, just getting it under 10 is always a big hurdle to clear. And Switek is able to accomplish that. St. Francis got the stop they needed on the last possession. Can they get another one here? They got 2 points as well, and now a steal. Braxton Mickens takes it in, and she's fouled, but on the floor, and it's only the 3rd team foul. Those steals are huge. The Saints are fighting for every point they can get. They're shooting the ball better of late, but they know they cannot afford to trade baskets at this point. So the turnovers are huge. Now scoring off turnovers becomes the story for St. Francis. Can they get points on this possession? Deflected out of bounds. Switek to trigger the pass. Gets it into Justine Charlesworth. Over to Mickens. Looking down low for Pyle. She's got her. Pyle triple teamed out to a wide open shooter. Georgia Bolton misses the 3. And the rebound goes to Michaela Schmidt. Carly Miller fires inside. Samantha Martin had an open look, but short-armed it. And the rebound is knocked out of bounds by St. Francis. Tiara Jackson comes back in. She's been tough for the Saints to handle inside. And so John McGinty counters by bringing in a little extra size. Alina Yankee will check Jackson here. Pass goes into Sarah Martin. Pull-up jumper is short. Rebound knocked out of the hands of Jordan Pyle, but she's able to retrieve it. Here comes Hannah Switek. Switek runs into a black shirted wall and pulls it back outside. Alina Yankee spins towards Jackson, blocked by Jackson. And here come the Redhawks. More than halfway through the 4th quarter, St. Francis has gained a little ground, but a long way to go. They trailed by 14 at the start of the period. Michaela Schmidt with 7 on the shot clock, gives to Sarah Martin. Martin pulls up at the free throw line, gives to Jackson. Jackson with the shot clock running down, blows by Yankee and lays it in. Nice little head fake from Tiara Jackson. She's got a team leading 16 points. Hannah Switek drives with the left hand, blocked out of bounds by Carly Miller. Braxton Mickens back in to give the Saints a little more offense here. As Alina Yankee heads out. Charlesworth sends it into Jordan Pyle. Pyle finds an open Bolton. Georgia Bolton misses another 3. And the rebound goes to Carly Miller. Bolton hit a couple of 3s earlier this half, but by and large, she, like the rest of the team, has struggled from the outside. Bolton, coming into today's game, was just a 24% three-point shooter. So the Redhawks have been happy to let her shoot them from outside. Emma Schmidt has 6 seconds to shoot. Schmidt backs in on Jordan Pyle. Throws up a high shot, misses the rim. It's another shot clock violation. .340 to play. Saints have found another cold patch offensively. Indiana Northwest defense has been up to the task. Bolton, another 3-point attempt. Another miss. And an over-the-back foul called on Jordan Pyle. Bolton's gotten some good looks, but again, just a 24% shooter for the season. So Indiana Northwest has not been unhappy to see those shots leave her hands. Georgia Bolton from three-point range now, just 3 of 10. She's missed her last 4. Stripped by Switek. Emma Schmidt gets it back. She's stuck and steps on the baseline. Hannah Switek sets it up for the Fighting Saints, who are starting to run very short on time. Once again, trying to get it down to single digits. Pyle drives, lays it up and in. Nice drive from Jordan Pyle, who's got 20 points now. Josie Graffio chases the ball across half court. Miller bounces off to Emma Schmidt. Carly Miller fires across court. Michaela Schmidt to Sarah Martin. Open 3, good. 13 for Sarah Martin. 12-point game. Here's Pyle again on the drive. Pyle inside, finds Hannah Switek on the wing. Her three-point attempt falls. Timeout called by St. Francis. 11 points now for Hannah Switek. And the Saints have cut it once again to 9 points. 2.5 minutes to play. Saints have done a good job on the defensive end forcing turnovers. 18 of them committed by Indiana Northwest today. And that's what's keeping the Saints in this game more than anything. But a lot of those turnovers have been the result of desperation from Indiana Northwest late in the shot clock. A couple of shot clock violations, a couple of errant passes, thanks to the pressure defense of St. Francis. And the Saints know that right now they need to force some quick turnovers to try to cut into this. It is only a 3-possession game, but the maximum amount of points possible for it to be a 3-score difference. Saints now, I know I keep harping on this one stat, but it is definitely the stat of the game. 7 of 28 from 3-point range. A team that shoots them at a nearly 40% clip for the season. And you have to consider the competition as well. When you're winning games by 60 to 90 points, you've got to think you're facing defenses that are going to give you a lot of open looks. And they've had some good looks today, but Indiana Northwest has done such a good job collectively of closing out on shooters. They are challenging everything that they can. They've played a really tough defensive game, and you do have to give them a lot of the credit for St. Francis's porous shooting performance today. Lobbed in across half court and just out of the reach of Jordan Pyle. Sarah Martin catches the inbounds pass. That barely missed grazing the fingertips of Jordan Pyle, who was trying for yet another steal. So Carly Miller gets to run some clock. Michaela Schmidt in the corner picks up her dribble, passed over to Miller, and Justine Charlesworth deflects it out of bounds with 9 on the shot clock. Timeout called by Indiana Northwest. So they'll talk things over for the next 30 seconds, draw up a play here before they get to inbound it on the offensive side of the floor. With 9 on the shot clock, 2:08 to play in the game. And this is what I was talking about. Quick steals is what St. Francis is looking for, because Indiana Northwest has already done half their job on this possession, even if they're not able to score. In running 20-plus seconds off the clock, they are firmly pinning St. Francis's backs against the wall. Fighting Saints come out with Graffio, Switek, Pyle, Mickens, and Charlesworth defensively. Redhawks have Sarah Martin, Emma Schmidt, Michaela Schmidt, Jackson, and Miller offensively. Sarah Martin trying to get it in. And her pass is intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Pyle. Pyle takes it the other way, into the corner. Wide open shooter. Braxton Mickens hits the 3, and it's a 6-point game. This is as close as it's been in the last 16-plus minutes of game time. Pass inside, Sarah Martin all alone lays it in. Nice find by Carly Miller. A big bucket for the Redhawks, and now an 8-point lead. Here's Hannah Switek dribbling it off to the left side. Switek finds Mickens again in the corner. This time she fakes the three and passes it back outside. Good defense from the Redhawks. Charlesworth back out to Pyle. Jordan Pyle cuts through the defense. Nearly lost it, kept it alive to the outside. Graffio for three. Off the mark. Rebound Carly Miller. She's fouled by Justine Charlesworth. The fourth team foul, so Miller will not go to the line, but now we've reached that stage of the game where the Saints may start to foul intentionally if they can get the ball into the hands of a bad free throw shooter. Most notably, Tiara Jackson, who's at just 33% for the season. Everybody else out there shoots them pretty well. Inbounded to Sarah Martin. Martin spins around Josie Graffio and gets across half court. Graffio looking for the strip. She ends up getting called for the foul. So Sarah Martin goes to the line. She is 0 for 2 there tonight, but a good free throw shooter on the season. And she has shot well from the field today as well, as she makes the first free throw attempt this time around. This would make it a 10-point game. 17 points for Sarah Martin. Switek drives quickly, high off the glass. She's fouled. I believe this is on Carly Miller. Nope, they got Tiara Jackson for it. So Hannah Switek gets 2 shots now. Switek, a 67% foul shooter for the season. Made both of her previous attempts in this game. She gets this one as well. 67 seconds remaining. And she cannot get the second. Carly Miller comes down with the rebound. Miller working against Graffio. Saints trying to force the quick turnover. They can't do it. Schmidt lobs it ahead for Jackson, and Emma Schmidt is fouled by Jordan Pyle. Schmidt has only attempted 2 free throws this year. This is her first attempt of the game. Under a minute to play. Indiana Northwest trying to salt this one away from the line. Schmidt misses the first free throw. Second shot is good. 70-60 in the final minute of play. Hannah Switek races down the floor, lays it up, no good. Rebound Miller, and that might do it for Indiana Northwest coming to Joliet. And it looks like they are going to pull off their second straight, well, I was going to say their second straight win over St. Francis. Their second straight year with a win over St. Francis. This one's not over yet, but a 4-possession game now. And Indiana Northwest continues to hit their free throws. Saints did beat Indiana Northwest last year here at home, the second meeting of the season, after Indiana Northwest had taken the first meeting at home for them. As Jordan Pyle step back 3, rims out. Offensive rebound, Braxton Mickens. Pyle tries another deep 3, and that's an air ball out of bounds. 38.2 on the clock. St. Francis once again applies the full court press, trying to get a quick takeaway. Saints are out of timeouts. Indiana Northwest still has 2 of them. And Miller uses one of those 2 right here. So 38 seconds left. 2 teams will go back to their sidelines and talk things over. Last year, St. Francis finished the season with just 2 conference losses. They went 20-2 in CCAC play before going on to win the conference tournament in late February. One of those 2 losses was against conference champion St. Xavier. The other one was against the Redhawks of Indiana Northwest, who took a big step forward in their development as a program last year and seem to have taken another one this year. off to a 6-1 start. They appear to be on the verge of 7-1 here. St. Francis just moved into the top 25 by winning 7 of their first 8 games. But it may be a short-lived stay in the top 25 if they're not able to pull off the miracle comeback today. Not the last game of the week for the Fighting Saints. They'll play here on Friday night. Non-conference game on Friday night. A very rare Friday evening game here at the Sullivan Center. And then after that, they will head out onto the road and they won't come back home for more than a month. Just one home game in all of December for St. Francis, coming up this Friday. Carly Miller to inbound it. From the sideline, she's able to find Martin. Martin right back to Miller. And the Saints foul Carly Miller. It's the 4th foul on Jordan Pyle. First shot good for Miller. She's had a great game tonight. 14 points for Carly Miller. One of 4 Indiana Northwest players in double figures. Second shot is good as well. 59 of their 73 points have come from those 4 players. Here's Hannah Switek driving, taking it all the way in. Misses on the layup. Rebound Jackson, and she's quickly fouled by Charlesworth. This is the player that the Saints wanted to foul a minute ago. They could not get Jackson to the line, instead sending Carly Miller, Sarah Martin, and Emma Schmidt to the line. All of them much more prolific free throw shooters than Tiara Jackson is. If they could have gotten Jackson to the line earlier, forced a couple of misses, although Jackson does make this one here, may have kept him in the game a little bit longer, but Indiana Northwest did a good job of getting the ball into the hands of their free throw shooters down the stretch here. Jackson makes them both. She's had a good night from the line, actually. 4 of 6. Came into play today shooting just 33% for the season. Hannah Switek steps up to the line, dribbles to the left side, lobs it up for Braxton Mickens, who tries to save it, but saves it right to Carly Miller. The Saints call off the Dogs. They will not apparently foul here. And Indiana Northwest will not have to get up another shot. So this should go into the books by this final score. A big victory for the Redhawks today over the 23rd ranked Fighting Saints of St. Francis. 75-60, our final score. St. Francis stuck in it for a long time, but they never really felt like they were on the verge of overcoming the deficit. Down by double figures for most of the second half. They couldn't get going out of halftime. It was a good back and forth first half, but St. Francis went over 7 minutes without scoring to start the second half, and that certainly was their undoing in today's 75-60 loss. So a frustrating loss, I'm sure, for John McGinty's team. Their second loss of the season. Both of them have come by double digits, but early enough in the season that I'm sure you could still find some positives as you go forward and try to figure out what needs to be fixed going forward the rest of the way. And a clear look at the box score today tells you what went wrong in today's games. The Saints just couldn't put the ball in the basket. A very good Indiana Northwest defensive team, and probably the best defense that the Saints have seen since their early season loss against Marion, and it shows on the stat line. A Fighting Saints squad that was shooting 39% on three-pointers this year was held to just 25% tonight. They were shooting 47% from the field this season coming in, and just 35% tonight. Meanwhile, Indiana Northwest shot very well, 46% overall, 43% on three-pointers. The Redhawks out-rebounded the Fighting Saints today, 45-31, another big factor in today's game. The one thing the Saints had going for them that almost kept them in it, 13 turnovers, they committed to 20 for Indiana Northwest, and those points off turnovers were big, but it seemed like when the Saints were getting stops, they weren't scoring, and when they were scoring, they weren't getting stops, which made it very difficult for them to cut a big chunk out of the Indiana Northwest lead, something they ultimately were not able to do. Final leaders for today's game, Tiara Jackson, who averages 12 rebounds per game, best in the conference. had 12 rebounds once again tonight. She also finished with 18 points, a team high, so she had the double-double tonight. Sarah Martin had 17 points. Carly Miller, 15 and 11 for Michaela Schmidt. St. Francis was led by Jordan Piles, 20 points. Pyle also had 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 steals, and a block. Good game overall for Pyle. Hannah Switek had 12 points, the only other double-digit scorer for the Fighting Saints today. She also chipped in with 5 assists. Our final score, 75-60. The loss drops St. Francis to 7-2 overall on the season. They fall in conference play for the first time this year. They are 4-1 in CCAC competition now. Indiana Northwest, with the victory, improves their overall record to 7-1, and now 4-0. They remain unbeaten in the CCAC. Saints are back at it on Friday night, 7 o'clock tip, and we'll have that one for you right here through GoFightingSaints.com. You can get all of your updates on St. Francis basketball. That's going to do it for today, though. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, it's Terry Bonadonna signing off from Joliet, Illinois. Talk to you on Friday.